The Renault Scenic RX4 has a rather mad tailgate opening, but the reason for it is even madder. Now, it is quite different to the standard Scenic, which is just a regular hatchback. Some models had an opening glass window. But on this car, there is an unmarked button, and if you push that, it releases the top half. Now, there's no obvious place to put your hand. There's a slight lip here above the wiper, which is really awkward to get to. But the lower half opens differently. You push the same button again on this dark handle, the lower half releases, and the whole lower tailgate opens sideways. Now, you might argue that it's pretty obvious why the RX4 has a unique tailgate solution, and that's because they've strapped a full-size spare wheel to it, which wasn't on the standard car. Now, you see, the RX4 is an off-road version of the standard Scenic. It had a new four-wheel drive system, it had all new suspension up round, it's much higher, it has cladding everywhere, and they were really committed to the concept of the RX4 and to making it a sort of semi-off-roader. Now, when they fitted the rear differential and the rear subframe to house the differential, that displaced the spare wheel, which sits underneath the boot floor. They could have just not had a spare wheel. They could have found a place for a space saver. They could have chucked it in the boot like they do on a Kangoo Trekker. They could have even had a separately hinged carrier like on an original Porsche Cayenne, which was an option. But instead, they really wanted to have that spare wheel, and they really wanted to put it into a tailgate like a traditional off-roader. But the amount of change content that they've had to make to this car to deliver this solution is madness. So they've side hinged the tailgate, but they couldn't side hinge the whole tailgate because of the shape of the back of the car. So the top half still lifts up on the standard hinges, although this section is completely unique to the RX4. They've developed an electronic release for the tailgate. They've had to develop a unique solution for the rear wiper, which is different to the standard car. And they've even had to route the wiring into the tailgate, which would normally go through the top, but now it goes into the side because this is where the electronics are for the boot release. And then there's all the panels they've had to change. So the whole back end of the car is different. So this panel is all plastic here. This is all new here. And then they've got these little infill sections here to make up for where the tailgate opens and where it doesn't, and where it used to, which is this crease here. The amount of reinforcement they've had to do behind here must be huge to sustain that weight hanging off the side of the car. And then they've had to change the interior panels as well because the tailgate opens differently. And it's that commitment to the RX4 concept, which is why I love this car so much.